because Solomon, what you just outlined is the difference between the privilege that white women get versus black women, the lack of privilege that they get at all, right? And it's a difference that you see in white feminism, and feminism that tries to be intersectional, right? But what we are seeing is a swath of black women who are laying down their own arguments against this type of privilege that Hillary Clinton experiences and benefits from. For whatever reason, they are laying down their own arms, their own arguments to their own detriment, because they themselves would never benefit from the same privilege that someone like Hillary Clinton will ever benefit. And to me, I'm like, where the hell are the black womanists and the black feminists who should see this more clearly than any man would ever see it? Where are they at? A lot of them are laying down their arms and going and running behind Hillary Clinton, and not just supporting them. Remember what I said yesterday. They have every right to support them. They have every right to back Hillary Clinton, but they are doing it to the detriment of their own integrity.
Yeah. No, exactly. No, seriously, like, it's just like after the Minnesota forum that Bernie spoke at, some people were tweeting different things out, and from what I've seen, like, people were predicting that he was over after that forum, like, that was just awful. And there are people who came away from that forum actually, like, even though it might have been tense towards the end, overall it seemed to have gone well. This is the Black America, I forget the exact name, this was in Minneapolis, that both Hillary and Bernie were invited to. I mean, also, here's another issue. Nobody wants to take her to task. She only shows up when there's actually a live camera and an audience there. She doesn't show up when it's a streaming forum. She didn't show up for the Criminal Justice Forum at Allen University back in November. That was streamed by BET. She did not show up for the Families First Forum in Iowa.
She's not showing up to the Flint Forum either.
No, she has to go to that. That's a debate.
No, there's another forum happening in about 2 days that Bernie is going
forum?
to. There's a town hall forum.
Wait a minute. There's a Flint town hall forum and she's not going, Miss, I'm going to save blackness. I'm going to cry in your black church.
They announced it today, and they announced that Bernie was the only one going.
Privilege. See? That's privilege.
She'll go to the big debate. The big debate, but she's not going to the forum with the community.
See, this is my issue, and this is why I challenge everybody, because we keep saying, "Come get my vote." You need to earn the vote. You can't. No, everybody needs to earn a vote, because quite honestly, I don't know what the Clintons have done behind doors since 2008, but I don't understand why everyone's just lying down. And nobody is being offered anything. There are no serious concessions being made. There's no real, like, powerful positions being leveraged. Like, are Clyburn and Lewis really going to get, like, choice positions in administration? Most likely not. No. So, like, what is going on? We're being sold off to the highest bidder for what exactly? Like, peanuts? Like, what are you getting? Like, we're being packaged as if we're some type of deliverable with nothing being leveraged in return. Like, I was reading something earlier. Somebody was saying, like, Hillary was talking about all this money she was going to put into home ownership for African-American homeowners. What African-American homeowners? Like, what are you talking about? When you have more than half of black workers make less than $15 an hour, we're living in communities where systemic racism has undervalued property. Who the hell is giving, and then the crisis, people's credit is messed up. Who the hell is giving anybody a loan? Like, when's that happening? Where is that happening at? So, I mean, why would you put billions of dollars into home ownership programs? We need jobs. My aunt and other people in Harlem are getting priced out because I think somebody said in the chat room, white liberals like to come hang with us in our communities when they're gentrifying them. Like, so, I mean, there's so much that's going on, and we are disproportionately, I mean, we use race, and I'm using the euphemistic we use race to keep lower class black people in line. That's what we use race for, because otherwise it does not affect us in any manner of way. We subvert the notion that we have economic issues because it does not benefit our black upper class. Our black upper class will not be an upper class without an underclass. And let's just be real when we talk about the decimation of black communities coming out of the 60s in terms of integration. Integration, I'm going to say something very unpopular here. Integration was one of the worst things that happened to the black community, because integration did not have an economic component. There was no real plan for What would we do in terms of our schools? You know, we had our own schools, we had our own teachers, we had our own administrators, principals. What happened to them? No, when we merged schools, half that workforce, most of the people got pushed out. We now have people, when we lift the restrictive covenants, who can move up and out into white neighborhoods. We talk about white flight, you know, leaving neighborhoods. Black middle and upper middle class flight decimated urban centers, you know, and made these communities ripe for the highways and other programs to come in. So what we can talk about what white people and systemic racism has done, but at the same time, we cannot ignore and disregard the severe cultural divide we have around issues of economics, because the black elite and upper class have always seen themselves as something separate and elevated above the rest of us. And that is a serious problem and issue, and it's glaringly prevalent right now.
And that's the thing. This is and you guys, you can get the last word, but I have to say this. This is why this election is so pivotal. It's because there is a delineating factor now. There is a real, it has always been there, right? But people are really just now coming to grips with it, that these black faces that they put on television, just like these white faces they put on television, they are well-paid faces. They're faces that go home in their luxury cars with their drivers. When they leave the studios, they leave and they go to their lofts in Manhattan, and they don't have to worry about not a damn thing that the average American, black, white, or other, has to think about. Never, economically. And so when we have these black faces get on television, and now they're talking about it online, and in their writing, Capehart, Blow, Reed, and Taylor, and all the rest of them. I don't think Taylor is doing as well as the rest of them, but you know, she's hanging in there as best she can. But the point is, they're putting all of these well-to-do faces on television to keep us chasing after race and never paying attention to economics, because they never have to worry about economics, and they get the added benefit of being that black face on their job. Jonathan Capehart might be one of the few of black people in the position that he is in, and so he gets to be the black voice when a black issue comes. And Joy-Ann Reid gets to be the black voice on MSNBC when the black issue comes about, and so they get a special privileged seat in the conversation, in the national dialogue, at our expense. And now the jig is up, because now they're telling us, don't worry about economics, it's about race. Don't worry about economics, it's about gender. Don't worry about your rent, you can't pay your rent, it's about intersectionality. Don't worry about any of that. All you need to worry about is that Hillary is going to be the most intersectional, the most progressive intersectional person she could possibly be, and all you need to do is worry about that, and don't pay attention to your money. And all the while, the rest of us, we got to wake up at 5 in the morning to go make this little bit of money that we make, just so we can be those serfs that Bobby was talking about in the last call, paying all of our money to our landlords, paying all of our labor to our jobs, and all we're left at the end of the day, if they tell it, is that at least we're intersectional. At least Hillary Clinton said the right words and the right phrases. At least she had the right parents of the slain kids. And this is what pisses me off the most, is now they're doing this not only to our detriment, but they're doing it to their own detriment. Their own integrity, their own arguments now mean nothing to me. I don't want to hear another person like Joy Reid or Capehart or the rest of them ever say anything about white privilege, because once you try to absolve Hillary Clinton of white privilege just to distinguish her from Bernie Sanders, you've lost your damn mind. Guys, you get the last words.